changing lives.
And a beautiful, beautiful evening to you wherever you hear my voice from. This is Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. It is another Tuesday and we are blessed to see this day. In the month of June, we have a series of interesting topics for us to discuss, and it is worth discussing it. It will help you. So please remember that it is time has sung. Call in every member of your family to come and watch. Join us on Facebook, on YouTube, on IG, and everywhere, especially on our WhatsApp line 0559-680066. Please send in your questions and contributions to support our discussion. We would love to hear your voice wherever you are. I am Afia Sewa Mansa, I'm the host, and I'm glad to join you wherever you are in your homes. Now, on my far left, I have, he's not new on Love at Home. He's a family man, and he's Pastor Makado. He's in charge of youth ministry, music ministry, and Adventist Possibility Ministry. One person. So, how are you able to do all these things?
I can do all things
through Christ who strengthens me. So, for you've been smart then, and God bless you. May God continue to give you the strength to do that. Too. Yes, and my next guest is Mr. Prosper Amenyo Adeku. Mr. Adeku, good evening.
Good evening.
How are you?
By the grace, I'm doing well.
That's great. Today, we are discussing people with disabilities or persons with disabilities and society. What am I talking about? We have people we termed able and disabled. Today, we want to discuss them. Who are they? How is society treating them? If you have one at home, how should you manage them? Because you all come together and form a society. What is the role of the church? This and many more we'll be discussing on our show today. Now, let me start from you, Sofo. You, as part of your role, you said you are in charge of Possibility Ministry. Okay. What is it about?
Okay. The Adventist Possibility Ministries is a ministry of the SDA Church. We used to call it Special Needs Ministry. It is a ministry that the Lord has given to the church because we realized that for a long time we were neglecting other people who are to be factored into the Revelation chapter 14, 6 and thereof. All kinds of people, all nations, all tongues, all tribes. And it includes people with disability. And so Adventist Possibility Ministries is a ministry that is, let me say, a joining ministry. It is liaising between other ministries of the church, like personal ministries, the youth, women's ministries, and all others. It is a ministry meant to care for, to discover, care for, and minister to people with disabilities, and also train them as missionaries for them to call for their brothers and sisters.
Really?
And so we have 7 units within the ministry. We have ministry to the visually impaired. That is what we will call in general terms the blind. We have ministry to the hearing impaired, what we would say the deaf. We have ministry to the physically impaired, people with mobility issues. We have ministry to orphans and vulnerable children. We have ministry to widows, 6. And the 7th is their caregivers, those who take care of them. And so in our part of our world, we have incorporated the aged also, because at a point in time, their incapacitation needs that we care for them. This is the ministry of Adventist Possibility.
Wow. Pastor, are you able to have the numbers generally of these people you are talking about?
One of our challenges as a church and as a ministry is data. And so we are doing our best. For Northern Ghana, the church around Kumasi up to the northern part are doing very well with the hearing impaired. They have the numbers, And for us here at the Southern, we are doing well with the vision. The blind. We supply Sabbath school quarterlies to all parts of Ghana. The production is done here at Southern Ghana Union Conference. So the Northern is doing well. They are getting the numbers with regards to the hearing impaired, the deaf, and we are doing well with the blind. So the rest of the 7 units, we are still doing our best to collect the data. And so if you are hearing me and you have any church member, even a family member, Adventist, non-Adventist, they are needed by the Lord.
Amen.
And we need to reach out to them.
We really need to reach out to them. Now, let me come to you, Mr. Adeku. How are you?
Fine, thank you.
Who are you? I like the way you are laughing. Who are you?
All right. We say Prosper Adeku. I'm a young Adventist from Akwili, Kaswa Akwili Church. I'm a teacher by profession at Cape Coast School for the Deaf and Blind at the Blind Unit. And I teach ICT, mathematics, and then rotational mobility. And I would say basically.
Okay, so let me do a disclaimer here. Please forgive me if I'm not able to say the right terms or the right words and it turns out to hurt you so much. Forgive me. Please help me, but we are helping to get the message across to everyone. I hope I'm forgiven. Thank you. Yes. Now, so let me come to you again. Am I right to say, are you a disabled person?
Yes, please.
You are?
Yeah.
So in what category?
Okay, visual impairment.
But you said you were a teacher.
Yes, please.
So how are you able to teach when you can't see?
Okay, basically, we do say disability is not inability.
Aye.
So me being a visual impaired doesn't mean I can't work. We have categories of works that even persons with disability does. Especially the visual impaired. Teaching just requires you having a voice. And even the hearing impaired are teachers. They also use sign language to teach the other colleagues. So you being disabled doesn't mean you can't work.
So what do you teach?
Okay, basically I teach ICT.
You mean you teach ICT?
Yes.
Computer?
Yeah. And then mathematics. The same curriculum the able ones do at every school in the entire country. The same curriculum that we also do. They will teach the same thing.
Do you have a special way of doing these teachings or imparting knowledge to the children?
Yes, please. We refer to something called adaptations and then modifications. Okay. So when the syllabus is given to us or the scheme of work, ours is to adapt and then modify to suit our learners.
All right.
So for instance, let's say ICT. They say we should create a folder. In the curriculum, it is there like you should right-click the mouse, scroll down to new, go to folder, click on it, and then type in your folder name. But because we can see, we can use the mouse to drag. So rather, we use the shortcuts because we depend on the keyboard.
You mean the control this, the alt that, all that?
So simply, I just teach my students, press Control Shift N. And then a pop-up will come for you to type in your user, your file name, and then you have created a folder.
Do you enjoy the work you do?
Oh, very much.
What about the children? Are they happy?
Oh, they are very happy.
Okay.
Yeah, because some of them, it's like that is their hope. After some of them spending over 10 years, 15 years in the house. So coming back to school is like coming back to life.
It's a dream.
It's a dream for them.
Okay. Now, Pastor.
Yes,
we have these same people in the churches. And I'm happy you made mention of the fact that you are trying to get the numbers. So in the church, if somebody is not able to hear, have you been able to relay these messages to the churches to provide resources so that these people can also get the messages we are putting across?
Yeah. since 2016, the General Conference, WAD, and the Southern Ghana Union Conference, the church as a body relayed the information that we should reach out to. And so we started with training. I remember when I was in Accra City as a director, we started a sign language school. I am glad that we have people who graduated and now they are able to sign. So what we are praying for is to be able to get more people into sign language, so that if there's any person with hearing impairment, what we would say deaf, at that local church, we can get someone to sign for the person. A typical example for us here at the Southern Ghana is Bubi Ashe SG Church and North Kanishi. I'm still scanning and see where we can get some of these our brothers and sisters. But these churches have people with hearing impairment, and we are doing our best to get people to sign. So currently, we have someone at Bubi Ashe, and Hope TV has started signing for Sabbath School and other major programs. And now, in even most of our programs, like Randy Skeet's campaign, we had people signing. So the church is doing our best to bring on board how to reach out to people within the church, and outside the church also.
He mentioned that he teaches mobility and adaptation. I heard something like that. Right, Prosper?
Orientation and mobility.
Yes, now, looking at the church buildings, what information have you carried across to inform people building church houses to put our friends also into consideration? I
think the Lord has inspired you.
Amen.
I left it. As part of our program, we are to educate the church for the facility, the church premises, to be user-friendly, accessible to our brothers and sisters with disability. It is part of our role, our mandate to help with the society. Today we are treating disability and society. So as a church, what are we to do? And so the education has started, but we're going to intensify that conference to conference, so that our building setup, arrangement, even the church worship at the pulpit area, to climb, to descend, and all those things we need to work on. So we are doing education so that our church will be friendly for all manner of people.
Okay. Now, Prosper, what are some traditional views about the so-called disabled? What do you hear people say more about you?
Okay. I would say the view of the society ran down to back ages, that they all thought disability is a curse. That's it. Maybe the family, somebody has done something wrong, and then the gods have what?
Punished the person or the family.
The family. That's why they have given birth to what? That kind of child. But in recent times, that we say in this modern world, it has come to light that it is no more a case. But in some people's terms, it is still that way. So when we come to the modern terms, we have 3 models of disability. They define disability in 3 different ways. That's the first one is the medical model, which talks about what disability being a disease. And let's say, for instance, mine like this is glaucoma. That causes my visual impairment.
Like, seriously?
Yeah.
So you were not born with it?
No, please.
Okay, I'll come to that. Now continue.
We have cataracts. We have onchocerciasis and the rest. Hearing impairment, we have the damage of the tympanic memory, which is the part of the ear. When you are removing your ear, you see there's some a wax in there. When you push the wax, but you must not over remove it. Because we are taking away the protection from the tympanic membrane. It's like a drum. So if you remove the protection, anything that gets into the ear can damage the tympanic membrane. So all those ones are medical. They take it from that side that the disability is what?
It's a medical cause.
condition. And then we have the social model. They say disability is not about the person. It is the society that makes the individual disabled. For example, I'm a visually impaired. If I entered into this place and then I'm given a document to read, and it is in print, you have disabled me, but it is not my visual impairment. Because if you were to give me a soft copy or a braille copy, I could have read the same thing like you. So you could not have even identified that I'm a visually impaired.
Okay, so just say all that you just said again. The social one, say it again.
The social model talks about the society making the person disabled.
Okay.
For instance, if I can't hear and I get here, and then there's no one to interpret to me, whatever you are saying, you will see me that I'm a deaf person. But if there's a sign language interpreter here, that barrier is not there.
Okay.
I'm not handicapped.
All right.
They take it that way. Then the third model talks about what? Charity. They said they combine the two together. That yes, the person is having a disease, the society have neglected the person, or we are not providing the assisting ways for the person. Then they come in with what? Charity. That is why nowadays we have so many NGOs. They come in that charity that, oh, then we need to support this person to what? To get to the top or assist the person financially or something. But the best model that all of us have to follow is a social model.
Wow.
That if we turn the society to fit all of us. Let's say, for example, once one of our lecturers, Dr. Winnie, said His Excellency Ajekun Kufuor, when he was passing the disability law in 2006, he never knew that he could sit in a wheelchair.
Wow.
But he passed that law in a sense that all buildings should be made accessible within 10 years. Now he is in a wheelchair. See, if that law was not to be passed, Ajekun Kufuor, His Excellency, could not even go to some of our public buildings.
Yes.
So that means it's not His Excellency which is disabled, but it is the society who have made him disabled.
Because we didn't provide the necessary resources to support him. To function.
That's it.
My lovely viewer, it is becoming more interesting. Please, don't leave the station. Rather, try to invite and call in your friends. Share wherever you are, because this is very important that we educate ourselves. Nobody is actually disabled, but rather, if you put in the necessary resources, everybody will be able to function. Let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue with our discussion. Please stay tuned.
Are you ready to witness the future of entrepreneurship?
I've been selling the bacteria for about 5 years now.
If I flush my toilet, this bacteria can help me to have the water go recycle and be reusable again.
Some of my products are here. There's Zaraka.
We collect waste plastics and recycle them using petroleum refining process into a product like petrol, diesel, and gas.
This is where I also have my.
We want to really ask and delve deeper.
So the platform is creating. How is he doing it?
Because we are pitching. And pitching indicates that there is competition.
Tune in every Wednesday at 7 p.m. and Sunday at 6 p.m. only on Hope Channel Ghana.
Hello and welcome to Hope Channel, and of course to your favorite program, Watch These Signs.
As long as you are not in that boundary, he will do all kinds of things to protect you so that you continue to move. There are times some things should have happened which should have crushed you to death, but because of the power of God, to give you extra more time so that you can consider the issues of eternity. From Prop things
on the farm.
Verse 23.
Yes, and that was when the Pharisees came, then he made this statement. And that is the same response people give today. That the Sabbath law says, thou shalt not do this, thou shalt not do this, don't touch this, don't go to market, don't. And so people use this text to tell you that even Jesus.
Hello, you are welcome back and you are watching Love at Home on Hope Channel Ghana. And today we are discussing persons with disabilities and society. What is society saying about them? Are they in Sioba or they are problem makers? What is it? Today we want to learn more. That is why we are having this discussion. Now, Prosper, you've really enumerated a lot where you grouped the conditions into medical, social, and charity. But I remember you were saying something that yours was a medical condition, and it was what?
It was glaucoma.
Glaucoma.
Yes, please.
What happened? So it means you were not born with it?
No, please.
Really?
Yes.
What happened?
Okay, in my case, I'll use it to explain the other causes of disability.
Thank you.
Yeah, which is we have adventitious and then congenital.
All right.
The congenital deals with somebody who was born blind, born deaf, somebody who was born physically challenged, cerebral palsy, and the rest. And then we have the adventitious, which is after birth, when you are 3 years and above, and then you encounter those problems. That means you have come to this earth.
Inherit it.
And I say it's through accident, old age, or any other means. Yes. So even the old age blinded like this, people thought it's normal, but it's a disability. It is called presbyopia. And then the old age deafness is presbycusis. So mine like this was a cause of a disease.
Okay.
Which is what? Glaucoma. Which simply means there's a pressure on the eye. In normal terms, you call it BP.
BP.
But that's the BP for the eye.
For the eye, yeah.
There's a pressure on the eye that causes my disability.
Now, Prosper, I understand all that you are saying.
Yeah.
So you have experience using your eyes to look at beautiful things.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden, you can't use this eyes again.
Yes, please.
How is it when you compare? How is it? I'm sorry to ask, but we really want to understand.
Yeah. Okay. Mine like this, it came after I completed secondary school.
Oh, fresh boy like that?
Yes, in 2007.
Okay.
So after which 2008, 2009, I was working with microfinance at Kaswa. So one day I was at the office working when I was keying the figures, like the money we have collected from the market women. So I was there with my boss when I saw that the laptop went off. So I told my boss why the laptop went off and said, no, the laptop is on. I said that I can't see anything. So I turned to look at him when I found out that I could not even see my boss again.
So you didn't see any indication that something like that was happening? It just came like that?
No, it just came like that. So quickly he called my dad and then he rushed me to the hospital. So it was then that I asked the doctor what was happening. They told me it is glaucoma.
Was it because you had eaten something that you were not supposed to eat?
No.
Or what? Nothing?
I learned it's just when the pressure is on the eye. That's one. And then if we add other factors to it, like let's say, for example, staying longer on phone, staying longer on the laptop without any protective.
Okay.
Because we have screen protectors that we use, which a bit dim the light.
Yeah.
But because all those days I was working without using them, and then it increased it.
Okay, so now, yes.
I think we can pick something from here.
Very.
His case and the other cases of such is telling us that even we think that we are able, there's a thin line between you being able and disabled. You are able this very moment. In the next seconds, in the next moment, you can switch to the other side.
Yes.
And that is why, as a society, as a church, as a family, as homes, we need to be accommodative, patient, humble, and considerate, empathetic in dealing with issues with disability. I'm learning from this situation.
Yeah, Pastor, I agree with you totally. Now, so what was the reaction from family members, your friends, at work? I mean, what was it?
Okay, I'll say in my case, my family was accommodative.
All right.
Because my dad's father, that was my grandfather, is also a glaucoma patient.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a former lecturer at Valley View University.
Okay.
Yeah, he was a glaucoma patient as well. So I got a lot of inspirations from him.
All right.
That although he was also disabled, he could rise up to be a lecturer at Valley View and stuff. So my family, I don't have any problem, but my workplace and friends and the rest, it was like everybody scattered.
So you were not able to work with the people the company you were working with?
No, I just have to stop work and then be in the house.
How was the feeling like? You felt neglected, I guess.
Yeah, the feeling it was very, very deep. The day that the doctor declared that I can't see anymore, it wasn't easy. Yes.
Did you go through any psychological therapy to reposition your mind as to whether you should accept the condition you find yourself in or things could change?
Okay, I would not go for any professional therapy but my mom, my dad, and then my grandfather was there for me. Because they know at that moment I could have even done harm to myself. Yeah, so my mom like this every minute she's checking on me to see if I'm safe in the room. Yes.
Okay, so at what point did you decide to say, okay, now I can't do the normal office work, so let me look for something that I can do? You looking at where or what I find myself in?
Okay, that was in 2016. That was where I met one lady from the Ministry of Education.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a secretary there. So she came to my dad and told my dad that your son can go back to school. The way he speaks, he's very intelligent. And my dad said, which kind of school can he go? He knows his dad has a condition, but he has a residual vision till he grew old and then went for pension. But mine like this, I've gone off. So he said, no. He knows the document that comes to them, there's something like School for the Blind somewhere. So she will go and research it and get back to us.
Okay.
So it was that time that I got to accept that fine. Due to the condition, I can't do any other way because I was a graphic designer. When I went to secondary school, I learned art.
Arts, okay.
But with my condition, I can no more do any design or anything. So I was just like stuck.
So you had to start everything afresh?
Everything afresh.
As if you are taking a new profession or a
all
new...
together.
All together?
Yes.
And how was it?
It wasn't easy. It wasn't easy at all. Something that you don't wish to do, but because you have switched, you need just to accept it and then take it that way.
Now, Pastor.
Yeah, the challenges our brothers and sisters go through, I can mention discrimination. Yeah. We feel that we are better off, and so we discriminate. And second, accessibility.
That's right.
They are facing that problem. How to even board a car, accessibility to education, and other things. Then healthcare disparities. How we treat them, how we welcome them. Unfortunately, it is now that we are getting specialized hospitals for, if not the general hospital. Even they don't even care you are in the queue and all that. So all that. Then the stigma, as he said, we think that it is a curse. It is a kind of, or it can be infectious. And so these are some of the issues or the traumas they go through. But thanks be to God, I think by education, the society is getting to be better off. Personally, from my DSS education, before I went to SSS, I lived with a man next door neighbor for about 8 years. A grown-up man. He was a tutor at Akropong School for the Blind. Okay. He was blind himself, and he was transferred to Became School for the Deaf and Blind.
Okay.
And we had a privilege. My mom was transferred also, so we in the same house, and I could learn how to accommodate, how to live. So these are the challenges they go through.
Now, Prosper,
yeah,
you've really gone through a lot for you to start all over and all that.
Yeah.
So I see you have a phone.
Yes, please.
But you can't see. How are you able to read your messages and send messages and all that? I was surprised when you sent me a message to say thank you. I was like, this man, is he really blind? Why? I'm surprised. And I'm sure my viewers would also want to know.
Okay, it's true that I have a phone, and it's no other phone which is specially meant for we, the visually impaired or persons with disability. It's the normal phones we all have. Whether Android, Samsung, whatever, the same phones. But we have a screen reader embedded in the phones. In your phones or in everybody's phone? Everybody's phone. Like seriously? Yes. So our viewers can just go to settings on their phone, go to accessibility, and then you will find, when you're using iOS, you will find voice over. But when you're using Android, you'll find talkback. When you put that accessibility feature on, it begins to talk to you. But how are you able to type? Because I saw you typing. Yes. The way we type is when I press the keyboard to pop up, like the sighted colleagues, there's a blank space when you click on it before the keyboard will pop up. So when it pop-ups, the keys are on it. Because it's a screen reader, when I move my hands on the screen, to tell me the alphabet under my fingers. Really? But it doesn't take effect. Until you activate it. Until you double tap it before that alphabet will be written. So for example, if I'm looking for T, I can move my hand from Q, W, and then when I get to T, then I'll double tap the screen, then the T will write. Then you feel this is T, then you double click it. Yes, it will tell me T. Then I'll double tap it. Then it's right. So you see, technology is there. It's aiding. It's aiding, and it is helping a lot. It's helping a lot. The so-called able people don't know this. So you are more able, and I'm happy to see that. Yes. Okay. So now let's look at. Have you seen any? Let me say it again. I've already issued disclaimer. A disabled person rising up, apart from your grandfather that you mentioned, rising up. I mean, seeing the person in the public space who is making it in society. Oh yes, we have a lot. And our viewers also heard of a lot, being Dr. Dana, Green Street, Ivan Green Street, which is a popular name in the political terrain. Yeah. All of them are persons with disability who have gone so far. And some of them that they don't know, even Boku Banko is a glaucoma patient. Currently or? Currently. Oh, okay. Before, that is why he could not fight internationally. He's also having a sight problem. Okay. Now, Pastor, please add on for me.
Dr. Dana is the first person with visual impairment to be called to the bar in Ghana. And he's the first known to be a minister of state. He's blind. My big brother and daddy, lawyer Green Street, sits in the wheelchair. We were privileged. The SDA Church had a program for people with disability. And by the grace of God, our brother Dr. James Donfe Kabila brought them. And they came there to share their experiences. We have one of them, a lawyer, Tete, a senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast. UCC. Apart from that, internationally we have people. My mindset tells me about Tatiana, McFadden, Oscar, and there are big people who have made it even within disability. And even now Ghana, we mentioned few. And even with the religious circles, we are told of Fanny Crosby,
Okay,
written several hymns, outstanding personality, but she was blind. And so, with disability, the Lord enables other abilities for you. And so, some will say that they are differently abled.
Yes.
That is what I want to say.
They are really differently abled. And we thank God for that. I am still looking at, can you, okay, so now let's look at why it is important for society to give you particular attention. What do you think? Why do you think so?
The first reason I will raise is, Pastor said it, that there's a thin line between disability and then non-disability. And I do mention that His Excellency John Agyeku Kufuor, if you had known that he would be in a wheelchair, he could have put more effort into the disability law. That's the first reason. Anybody at all can be disabled. And currently, we have a lot of disability. But it's only the physical disability that we are looking at. That's the visual impairment, the hearing impairment, and the words that we can see. There are so many people who are disabled. And according to IDE, we have about 14 disabilities. We have emotional disorders there.
Yeah.
We have behavioral disorders. We have speech disorders.
So we are all disabled?
Yes.
If your child is stubborn, it's a kind of disability.
It's a behavioral disability.
Yeah.
Somebody who is called antiso. The disability name is emotional disorder. But we don't classify those ones as disability. Even learning disability itself, we have 3 categories. If you go to school and you don't know maths, it's a disability. It's called dyscalculia. Somebody who cannot read, maybe a class 2 book he's in P6. That's dyslexia. Somebody whose handwriting is very, very, very poor. That's dysgraphia. But we don't classify them. Only the visual impairment and then others that we
can see.
That we can see.
Yeah.
But if you go to our children, our family, everybody you will find one. Or more than 3 in the house.
Yes. Now, so how big and serious is this issue of disability?
Let me start that.
Okay, start it.
In fact, my statistics tells me that 1 in 6 people has a disability. 1 in 6. If you count 6 people, 1 of them is probably having a disability. We have over 1.3 billion people in the world with disabilities. Let me quickly scan some. People with difficulty in walking, even climbing staircase, we have over 30.6 million, according to UN. People with vision issues, partial or total. 8.1 million.
Wow.
Hearing difficulty, 7.6. Totally using wheelchair, 3.6. And those with dementia and that category of cognitive issues, 2.4 million. In fact, statistics says that when we put people with disability, they will emerge to be the 2nd largest continent in the world.
Wow.
And so they are more than Ghanaians, they are more than West Africans, they can be more than a whole continent. And so within our ranks, our fold, our family, we all have a disability. I say it as a joke, that even when you have misplaced your key, I can't find my key. Now my phone way, and you realize that the phone and the key is with you.
Can you imagine?
That time, now disability. We all do have.
Yes, we all do.
So it's a big issue. It is a reality. It is with us, and we must be accommodative and very careful.
Prosper, you were a teacher.
Yes, please.
And you are teaching children who are also visually impaired, right?
Yes, please.
What support do these children get from their parents and families? Do you think they are okay, or they are being neglected?
I would say almost 90% of them are being neglected.
90%?
Yes, please.
This is serious, Prosper.
Yes.
But their parents are there.
Oh, they are there.
Why?
It's just simply because of the condition. That they don't understand even the condition their real children are even in. Some of them we have to call and then cancel them.
You will have to cancel such parents?
Yes, because they don't even understand the condition that their children are in and what that child can do. Most of them, the statement is, the omuhu and the economic school, you that are disabled. What are going to do?
You mean the parents are able to utter some of these words to you?
Yes.
They don't know that you have a condition, and they are able to say this to you too. So you see, we are not showing empathy at all.
No.
It's like most of them are being kept in the house for long. Okay. So their mentality is, that child have wasted about 15 years in their house, 10 years in their house. So before coming to the rehab center, that child is almost 20 years. Where would that child start class 1 from and go and end up in the university? That's the mentality. So they just take the school as what? A dumping place. Just to come and put them there and also go and do their work.
To free themselves, to get time to do their businesses.
Exactly. So the effort and stuff that they need to put in, logistics that they need to give to the children to go to school is now problematic.
So, Mommy, picking from the narration, I think that now, if you don't know and you are watching this program, we have facilities that takes care of these people, our brothers and sisters, our sons. And so, if you have ear, eye, whatever, kindly seek for which institution can help my child. Why should you spend about 10 years? 15 years? Even with him, he had an issue around 2007. It was 2016.
Yeah.
So why should we keep our children? And we are creating a tradition that they are beggars.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, with my involvement with my brothers and sisters, you realize that is a big challenge we need to overcome, because as a Ghanaian society, we've made our brothers with what we say disability to think that for them they are nothing good but to beg. And so even if the person is picking up, that begging attitude is still there. Because the society expects you when you're with my yarn say na efabra, and we need to be able to disorient ourselves out of.
Now let's look at the government aspect. What is government doing for you?
I said the government is doing its part, but we say it is not enough.
You always want for more.
Not even more. Where the government is supposed to reach, it's not reaching.
Okay.
Because in 1994, the government was part of countries that signed a treaty at Salamanca in Spain about the inclusive art, education for all. That's inclusivity. But when it comes to Ghana, the implementation came later in 2015. Even that it was Professor Samuel K. Hereford who forced through for that document to be passed in Parliament. And as at now, the Disability Act that was passed so more than a decade now doesn't have an ally. So it's not in use. It has faded out, and now before they are drafting a new one again. And if you go to the law, things that the government have been set aside, then themselves are not even doing it. When you go to the ministries, the only ministry that I visited personally, which is more conducive and accessible is the Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations.
Okay. Yeah.
That one is very, very, very friendly, disability friendly. Okay. The rest, oh, Masa.
And
when it comes to employment and other sectors, it's very hectic. Last 2 years, we were on the streets demonstrating and doing all those stuff just for a job after school. There's a lot of persons with disability who have graduated, not from a training college, but from a university with a degree. They are at home. Some since 2018, 2019, they are still in the house.
Prosper, the issue of education, I will look at it on a different day. How you are able to mix yourself with the same method of teaching in the classroom and all that. I'll come to that issue later on. Now, Pastor, let's come back to your role again. I see you are doing a lot. What support do you need?
One, for the church, and I will not be selfish only for SDA. It is high time we need to have the statistics. We don't even have. We at Southern Ghana produces Braille Sabbath School. Even after production, the distribution becomes a problem.
Because you don't know them.
In fact, you send letters, you make calls
come
through,
for them or
even
come for
to
them.
get. So because they are neglected, church members, the society don't count them, and so we don't have the statistics about them. So that is one of our core issues. And now with NGO or higher authorities of the church, everyone deals with statistics. If I'm to help you, what is your number? So that is a problem. The second one is funds. But if we say that it should be the union, there's no union without a conference. There's no conference without the church. And so the help must be from the local church. We are not asking for colossal amounts, but if you have spotted 1 or 2 people with disability within your local church, what do you do to help? Can a church, in a small way, support the education of that child? Or even coming to church? Is the church family so friendly, so godly enough that we'll prepare something so that in the afternoon when my able children are eating, that disabled child can also eat? We need to be friendly, we need to be godly, we need to be sociable in order to accommodate. And so another is worship setting. The worship setting being conducive to, if you have someone with vision impairment, how is the setting like? Someone with hearing impairment, can you get someone to do the signing? And so at our part as church leadership, we are doing the sensitization, the education, and then training of people, especially beginning with sign language. As for the Braille Sabbath School, now by the grace of God, Southern Ghana Union, we've added Steps to Christ. And now we were able to produce the first French Sabbath School quarterly. We've sent that to WAD. Currently, our stock of Braille paper is finishing, and you need almost getting to about 100,000 Ghana cedis to restock. We need funds, both at the local and at the union.
Okay,
levels.
so Pastor, talking about this takes my mind to the issue of the children ministry. I'm sure we have children who are also
yes, please.
disabled.
Yeah.
What programs do you have for them? In the children ministry, do you have programs there to support them? Are they able to disassociate themselves where they are taught in a different way, or how do you do that?
That is why I said that APM, Advent Possibility Ministries, is a liaison ministry, because we work with children, youth, women ministry, and all that. Currently, we at the Saudi, we are calling for inclusive worship.
Okay.
Like the inclusive education, where they are not secluded or like put at a point.
Okay.
We mingle. When you go to Northern Ghana, they have gotten their numbers, so they have deaf churches where they can meet on their own and do worship on their own. For us, we don't have the statistics and the numbers, and so we are doing the inclusive. And so the church should prioritize, if we see children of such, what can we do? How can we augment the normal children ministry classes to contain them? We need to work on that.
Now, Prosper, give me your final advice. One, to parents, what should we watch out? To people who are, in quotes, like you, I want you to challenge them. What can they do? And then if you have any message to society or generally, you can share.
All right. I'll say my last message to parents. Anytime that I talk, I do say that don't let your child blame you for being the cause of his disability.
I agree.
Don't let any child blame you that you are the cause of what is disability. Because in the causes of disability, most of the disabilities happens at when our mothers take pregnancy. Yes, till delivery. Any least mistake you do may cause a child disability.
Okay.
So that part, I'm encouraging all parents, right from the time that the mother gets pregnant till giving birth until he finishes the developmental age of age 16, shouldn't joke with what? That child. And if you have any child which is disabled in the house, please, they are keeping too long in the house. We are long due. So many centuries have passed. So you can't tell me that you have not heard it on the radio, on the television, or anywhere that you have seen a group of disabled people from school or somewhere. So you keep your child up to the time that is so worse before you find a school. And then to my other colleagues, younger ones coming up with disability, it is time for us to what? To show the world and the society that being disabled does not mean you can't do anything. We have 5 senses. If you lose one, that doesn't mean the rest can work. 4 against 1, you must be able to use it to do something. So it's a challenge that you must prove to your family, to the society, to where you are that despite your disability, I'm also able to what? To get somewhere. And to be surprised, most of the persons with disability, if you go to their houses, they are the only people who have completed university. Most of them. So it's a challenge I'm throwing to them to also pick it up. That wherever our predecessors have reached, wherever we also reach, they also take that mantle and what? Try to fight and get to where they want to go to. And then to the entire society and the government, all that I'll say is we should try as much as best to make the society a conducive place or accessible.
We can in a local dialect for me.
The other can say, omuma ye communities no, and I say society a team no, enye accessible my. So that the ebe bia, it's like seem to be anye the ember. Because being in Ghana, you Ghana ha, ni obi abrochiri. O hu de ekoso abrochiri hu Ghana say ye de ja. Afene o keji. Indi be bia. But there are so many things ye pain for betimi aye de aboy, but we don't know why enye juma.
They are hearing you.
Churches ni bebre. Ye pese omutie Adventist or not Adventist o. Because the non-Adventist na kasa no one of the problem kese braye this 21st century. Omo the year tools for what? Being famous. What of low vision ni kan say we be nani. Ono ohun kakra dada. Aha, that aspect.
Okay.
Hearing impaired. There are different types. There will be a hard of hearing. But also for bompire or see my bien so. Wakasa kakra watinti. Nipa no a hard of hearing dada. Onye deaf. Into yes, we are part of the church. And we must partake in every activity of the church.
Okay.
So when it's about school, divine service, the Bible did not discriminate. Say, man, for disabled being for platform. Let us all be there.
All right. All right. Now, Pastor, I'm coming to you. You see, he mentioned it partially when he was signing off. Some women have the children, they are shy. So they keep their children, they hide them, not keep, they are hiding them.
Yes.
I want you to give a message to such people. 1. Then, your general advice, you can mix it for me.
Okay. Miafutu, my advice is that if you are shy of people, what about God? If you are hiding your child from people, what about the God who permitted you to have that child? Nyame buye nyina akonta. Ntinya obano sitie biara. Se nyame mpese obetena ase a anko oyini firi ho. Ode na mawa fani pie nipa mu. Busa emu afiri he. Na nyame na wo kwan hodo bebre so a ono ankasa kwan bia so ana onam nipa so bema yetimi aboa obano. Se ne obia na ne afira sebi mano da somuna so Etimaba be a whole minister of state. Etimi a lawyer, the first person to be called as blind in that circle. Actually say ye baby betim aye bibi nti mama ye nsuro mama ye mfere ye mfo ye ntu Nyankopon nim na ye hwehwe emmoa. Nia me kanyaka ho ne say, can you be a hand, the feet, the mouthpiece for someone with a disability? Can you be a cause for someone to smile? Say, Daddy, asoriba, also for elder, me dawase. Church radio me damase say, masumi muama maye nipa. That is what Matthew 25:36 thereof says. Yebe papa manipa bebre Yesu babusa said. Me say we will ask how. It is what we are doing now about donations. You ubotom sika ebansra hwa kwana kwasra, whatever you need to do as a child of God, do to help someone we will say who is vulnerable. But doing that is what the Lord requires, and that the Lord will reward and bless us with. Let's do our honest part. Yemfa blame and responsibility and a conference and a union. There's no conference, there's no union without a church and a church member. Yawa family nyame chira nyina ma ne osia ye no awie pay nyame nshira.
Amen. Do your honest part and God will bless you. What I love most is we have differently able people. This is to say that the people we call them disabled, they are just differently able people. Yeah. They can do the same things you are doing in a different way. Let's provide resources for them. Let's support them. Don't hide the children. Bring them up. Encourage them. They may be able to do little, small things, but it will light up the world. This month, we'll be discussing more about our friends. Stay tuned. Next time, same time next week, we continue with this discussion. Remember, if you have any question or contribution, you can send to 0559680066. And I had this discussion with Pastor Makado, who is the youth ministry director. He's the music director, and then Adventist Possibility Ministry. And then my special friend, Prosper Amenyo Adeku. He's a teacher or a lecturer.
A teacher.
A teacher, yes. He's teaching, so he's also imparting. And God bless you so much for not hiding it and decided to share. God bless you. So same time next week, come into your homes again. And this is Love at Home. I am Efia Sewa. Good night and bye-bye.